Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're not yet subscribed, kindly do so to encourage me to make you more videos like this. So how did I become a nurse in Switzerland? I trained in Kenya as a nurse. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. I then worked in the public and private sector before getting finally to clinical research with HIV/AIDS. When I got married and my husband was already in Switzerland, I then relocated to Switzerland and had to take the long journey of getting recognized as a Swiss nurse. So what this entailed was getting into contact with the Swiss Red Cross, and they asked me to send my transcripts as well as my degree, which I sent. And along with this was also my CV, so they could see my career path. It took at least 3 months, and then they sent me a response with what they required me to do to be able to work in Switzerland as a nurse. So I got a partial decision, but usually there is either partial or direct entry. For direct entry, you send your documents and they write you a letter that they've accepted you as a nurse in Switzerland, and all you have to do is pay the fee, the administrative fee for the recognition process, and then you get your license number. For the indirect path, there are several options. The first one would be that they give you an exam. You sit for this exam, you pass it, you pay the fees, and then you get your license. The second partial decision would be that you need to do an internship, which is what they call stage. And then after this internship, you get recognized and you work as a nurse in Switzerland. The third option is you get to do some courses and also get to do internship. I fell in this third category because I had to do a 6-month internship and also take a course. Now, it can be 6 months. I know of someone who did it for as long as 1 year. So it depends on how Swiss Red Cross has evaluated your documents. You cannot gauge that because someone was from your country, you'll get the same, or someone was from a neighboring country, you'll get the same. It depends totally on how they gauge your CV and your academic qualifications. So once they sent me this response, definitely I had to pay money for the first step, and then we got into the second step of me doing my part, doing the internship and doing the course. Now for the course, there are specific schools that you have to go to. You cannot just go to any school. In the French-speaking area, there is the school that is called Espace Compétences, and this is the one that is covering all the French-speaking cantons. In the Italian side, they have another school, and in the German-speaking side, they have a different school. Now, when it comes to the internship or the stage, it's up to you to find a place. Most of the time, it's very difficult to find a place in the hospitals, and therefore people end up doing their internship in the old people's homes. However, you are supposed to get this internship in either a hospital, old people's home, or home-based care. So this is always the most difficult part, getting this place to do your internship. So then I did my internship and then I did the theory course. Now, something about the theoretical course is it's a course that you can do in 1 month, but it's spread over 1 year. I think this is to help those who are working or who are already doing their internship to be able to do the two things at the same time. And this theoretical course cost me 6,000 Swiss francs. You'll find that if you do a comparison between starting afresh to study nursing in Switzerland and getting recognized, it is way cheaper to start afresh than to be recognized. However, not everyone has the luxury of time. So people like myself just decided, okay, let me pay for that, but buy my time. But if you're someone who has time, you're still young, you still don't have a family, children to take care of, then you can just decide and get yourself into the program of starting afresh in Switzerland. However, you have to be able to speak the language of your canton to a B2 level. This, I understand, is going to change to C1 level. I'm not sure if it's changed yet, but if you're in a French-speaking canton, then you have to be able to speak French at a B2 level. If you're in a German-speaking canton, German at a B2 level, and the same goes for Italian. So then there's no excuse for this, and this you have to be able to show the certificate that you are at this level before even starting the theoretical classes. Because when you apply for this espace competence, for example, if you're in the French side, they will ask that you give them the certification of your French level. Otherwise, the Red Cross will ask you for it also, but it's something that I prefer, that I think is better for you to do even before you start the application process. For me, I came to Switzerland in 2013 and I sat for the DELF French exam 3 years later. But if you're someone who is living alone, you don't have young children, then it can even be faster. Reaching a B2 level is not hard. If you get intensive classes, you can reach it quite fast. Now, something else that I want to talk about, I had a channel before talking about nursing in Switzerland, but I had to close this channel because most of the nurses from non-EU countries felt that they could come to Switzerland, they could be recruited from their countries to come to work in Switzerland. This is the thing about Switzerland. Before you come to work in Switzerland, you must either be Swiss or an EU EFTA citizen. If you have this one of these two citizenships, then you can be able to be recruited to come and work in Switzerland. But it is very difficult to be recruited, for example, from Kenya to come and work in Switzerland. This is mostly done for expats. And nursing does not fall into that category because already Switzerland has several nurses coming from Italy, coming from Germany, coming from France, and coming even from as far as Portugal. And since many people are eyeing Switzerland for the nice salaries and work conditions, it is very difficult for them to have a shortage that needs them to cross borders to go to non-EU countries to bring you into Switzerland. I managed to get through this process because I moved to Switzerland for family reunification. If you've not watched that video, I'll link it at the end of this video so that you can see how I came to Switzerland. I was not recruited from Kenya to come and work in Switzerland. This is just something that I want you to know before you start having false hopes about working in Switzerland. Yeah, so that is how I got recognized in Switzerland and how I'm able to practice as a nurse in Switzerland. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.